Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger podcast reloaded. This is actually not episode 1. So much has happened since our point 1 episode that I am actually breaking the rules and making one more YouTube special. It's specifically and exclusively for YouTube. It is an update that is going to talk about what's going on this channel. It's going to update everybody on what's happened since point 1. And, yeah, so this should be the last one. This is point 5. So this is it. We're at the halfway point. The next episode that is posted for the Dark Avenger podcast Reloaded will be episode 1, and it will be on all your podcasting networks. So you'll be able to hear it on the road, on Spotify, everywhere. But anyway, for this episode, we have an update. We have a huge update. I want to thank all of you who came out for point 1. Point 1 did amazing. It reached out to each and every one of you. I've heard from a lot of you since that episode went live, and it reached out to a specific individual that was talked about in the episode. So I don't expect this episode to do as big of an impact as point 1, and that is totally okay. I'm totally okay with that. However, this stuff needs to be said, especially with September being right around the corner. And September is going to be a very, very big month. So let's start with what happened since point 1. Well, the podcast reached out to a lot of you, but it also reached out to Michael. That's right. Michael heard the podcast and came home. Not just came home to visit. After a while, he came home, moved home, because there was some crazy stuff that was happening on his end. And if you'd like to hear the full story, or what Michael's willing to share of the full story, you are more than welcome to go over to Dude of Rock 18, where he shared his return video to YouTube and in general. And then we did 2 videos over on Brooklyn Boys. One we're going to talk about right here for this podcast because it involves the Dark Avenger Network channels. So Michael's back. And as much as I talked about all last episode, getting used to doing things by myself, getting used to recording and doing all this stuff by myself, not only did Michael come back, but the Michael I talked about, the one that we lost before our father died, came back. So we're talking about the Michael that has ideas for YouTube, has a passion for doing videos, wants to get back to doing what we do best. And that's making content for each and every one of you. That is right. That Michael has come back. So I've gone from leaving all of the past behind and focusing and kind of tuning my brain to doing things by myself. Now going back to the way things used to be with it, with Michael helping me out doing videos. And we've talked about things. We've got some plans. We've got some really, 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 really fun plans. And it's all starting September. This video or this podcast episode should be going live on the week before. I was going to say a date, but I don't have an exact date. So it should be going live around maybe on the 26th. And that is almost a week before the 1st. It's less than a day, week before we hit September. And when we hit September, we are going to be returning to doing content. And when I say returning to doing content, I'm talking about the Dark Avenger comic book review, the haul videos, which are going to start off for now, as I said, as a monthly video series, but definitely will be changing in the future because I've already told Michael my idea. You all know the idea I've always had for the weekly comic book hauls, and Michael liked it and put his own little ideas into it that I like, possibly. So not only will the hauls be back, the comic review will be back, and if you'd like to understand why we decided, since Mike and I are going to be doing a lot of stuff, just the 2 of us for a while, we decided to retire the Brooklyn Boys channel. It is a time capsule of wonderful memories that we will treasure forever and ever and ever. And yes, we will still revisit Brooklyn Boys from time to time with maybe some special videos, but we retired it from the weekly video uploads and content so that this way we can focus our attention here on Dark Avenger for all of you. So while the media stuff will be coming back, and there's actually a special series that I talked with Michael about that he's very excited to get started in September as well. we are also going to be working on the other two Dark Avenger channels, namely Dark Avenger Gaming for walkthroughs, playthroughs, and gaming, and Dark Avenger Entertainment for our vlogging, skits, and all stuff outside of doing comic book media. So this is our second and last chapter as far as YouTube and content creation is concerned. This is where we are going until we either stop making videos completely or until we go to see the big man in the sky, as they say. The first chapter with Brooklyn Boys, Dark Avenger, Dude of Rock, it was an amazing chapter. It was a learning experience. It was us. I was 19, Michael was 17. It was us learning, growing, young adults just starting out in life and having a good time with our friends, making videos, hanging out with all of you, giving all of you something and a piece of our lives, basically. To then me going off and doing the comic book media on Dark Avenger right here for 10 years, and Mike going off on Dude of Rock doing all of his gaming and Nintendo stuff that I know all of his viewers really love watching and are going to love watching when he comes back to again. And now here we are. Brooklyn Boys is in its retirement stage now. Dark Avenger now has a network of two other channels, three including this one. And Mike's returning to Dude of Rock to do all the newer content that's coming out from Nintendo, to do some newer videos in general when it comes to gaming and whatnot, and maybe some vlogging for himself. I don't know. He's still kind of coming into getting back into doing videos. He's been through hell. I thought I was on a road from chaos. He truly is too on a road from chaos, and he is slowly coming back and getting back into stuff. And we've got plans. We've got ideas. Again, there's a lot of moving and shaking still going on in the house. And when I say moving, it's mostly a lot of moving. Offices are still being worked on. Apartments are still being worked on now. And it's going to take a little time before we get into a permanent space. However, we're not going to wait until we get into those personal spaces to start doing videos again. So what that means is the comic reviews, God willing, and I'm hoping, will be beginning in September. The haul video will be beginning in September, or with September's books. Extra videos will be coming out in September for media. Skits will be coming back. Live streams on Chaotic Blaze 86 will be starting. I've been working my butt off getting stuff ready to stream games on Twitch. I've been working my butt off to get stuff ready to record for Dark Avenger Gaming. And on top of that, this is going to be the second time before launch that I mention it. I have a Discord group that I'm working on that is going to connect VR chat. It's going to be a VR chat group, Blood on the Clock Tower, and gaming. All three will encompass the community I am building with a group of really amazing people I consider a family, people that are close to me, that if you're a part of the VR chat community, if you are a part of Blood on the Clock Tower, if you are a gamer looking for a community of people to hang out with, talk with, whatever, this is going to be the server you want to try to find. And it's called Blaze's Wolf Sanctuary. It is based off of my Sona because, again, the main star of the community is going to be VR chat, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the only star of the server. We've been in beta testing now for 2 months, and it's gone amazing. We've hammered out as many details I feel that we can without actually having a large community. So we are just waiting for September 1st, and the invites, the open, ability to join the group will begin. But back to what we're talking about here, back to this channel. Again, I can't echo enough how much it meant to me hearing from all of you. The return to social medias, where I'm starting my updates to my collections. For the past 5 years, I haven't really updated all the stuff that I've got, and I've got a lot of people saying, welcome back, and it feels good to have the Dark Avenger back in my life, so to speak, because the Dark Avenger channel is my channel, but it also is my community. All of you are the community I built through comic reviews, comic news discussions, live shows, everything, podcasts. And I've missed it. I've truly missed it. And the reason we decided to wait until September instead of doing everything when I originally planned, which was going to be actually at the beginning of the summer, was because Mike was moving back. There was some crazy busy stuff going on in the house, family-wise. We just decided it would be smarter, it would be better to just wait. Wait until at least the summer was over. So here we are. September's right around the corner, and there's going to be some really cool stuff starting up soon. And everything that I mentioned in the previous video is still going to happen, and more, because we now have Michael back, like I said. So I will have Michael doing reviews with me. We do have extra comics now because of that, because as you all know, Michael has specific comic books he really likes. And apparently Valiant decided to relaunch this month, the month of August. And funny enough, Michael likes Valiant. So we might do a special video, I don't know, before getting into the reviews. We might do something a little special. We might cover a couple of the books that came out this month because of the number ones especially. But I know that the event for Marvel is winding down. We have a big event that's going to be coming up in DC Comics. That's been something that's been in the works for about 2 years, I believe now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. They showed the timeline, basically, from when the Absolute Universe was created all the way through till now. We have Knockout that's coming. So I'm hoping with the little bit of knowledge that I have, because, and I'm not going to lie to any of you, life's been busy. I have not kept up with my books because, again, didn't have the review. So it gave me that horrible excuse of, not having to read right away. And I'm looking forward to doing the review again so that I don't have that excuse. And I do have to keep up at least with the books every week. But I am definitely a little bit lost when it comes to what's going on right now in the comic realm. However, when I started the comic book review back in the day, I was just as lost then as I am now. The only thing I knew was Superman and a little bit of Ultimate Spider-Man. So to be fair, I came into the comic review series only knowing 2 series, and I'm starting the comic book series once again only knowing 1 or 2 series. So in the end, it's just like coming home and just like starting all over again. The only thing is I'm not relaunching at episode 1. We are moving forward with 500. We are going to 1,000 and beyond. And I say we because now it's Mike and I. We're back. We're stronger than ever. And we have a lot of experience under our belts now when it comes to video creation and streaming and what we like doing. And we have a plan, and we have a not just this year plan or a next year plan. We have an end game plan, and I'm hoping to get there within the next couple of years. Yes, I said years because we are dreaming big. We know we're dreaming big, and we know it's not going to happen overnight. So yes, we have a couple of year in the future's plan that hopefully one day we'll be able to accomplish. Maybe we won't. That's why I'm not talking about it with all of you now, because if we don't make it, I don't want to make empty promises like I did in the past and then let all of you down, because I don't want to let any of you down. I want to deliver a good product, good content, and what I can promise you is the reviews, the hauls, the news videos, the random videos, the Comics and Coffee, the series Michael's working on that he'll be doing himself, and that will be a weekly series. And then maybe one day, the Dark Avenger Live series will return. Maybe. Mike and I have talked about bringing Dark Avenger Live back. However, doing it live on Twitch like the way I used to, and then bringing the video over and previewing it again on on YouTube, because StreamYard, we won't talk about StreamYard and the crazy price it is now to have that. And no, I'm not paying that monthly. StreamYard went up to an extreme price. So we'll figure something out when we get there, but we're not there yet. I hope we do get there. I have a lot of things I hope we end up doing in the future. But till then, look forward to September, because it all begins again in September. New things open up, new beginnings, and we move forward into the final chapter. We move forward into the final chapter of our content creating lives. So look forward to years and years worth of fun content until either we retire or we're gone. Because I love doing stuff like this. I love making content for all of you to enjoy. And to be honest, I missed just recording this right now. I have this feeling that I think only content creators can understand. Inside my mind, inside my heart, inside my soul, the dopamine feeling of recording again feels so good. And there's nothing like it. If you love content creating, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing like this feeling right now. The ideas in my mind that are floating around right now, all the plans that Mike and I have talked about are all floating in my head, and I'm sitting here biting my tongue, not wanting to say anything because I don't want to make promises, but I have such big dreams and hopes. But at the same time, it's like, no, we can't do that. We can't make promises that, maybe we can't deliver on. But there are so many things that we talked about and so many things floating in my head right now. And I really hope at least 90% of the stuff that I'm thinking about, that I know we talked about, we'll be able to do and give to all of you. Again, I highly, if you like gaming, if you like entertainment, if you like skits and stuff, I highly recommend, again, you go over to Dark Avenger Entertainment, give it a subscribe. Go over to Dark Avenger Gaming, give it a subscribe. If you have been sitting here patiently, and thank you for being patient with me, and you've been patiently waiting for the comic book content, it's coming. It is coming. Like I said, I've just wiped the slate clean. That's why you haven't seen any hauls or anything. I am literally wiping the slate clean, and we are starting fresh. I do have a collection of things in front of me that I do want to do a video of. I'm hoping to do a video of. That might be a little extra video. We might do a video, like I said, doing a catch-up with a couple of the books that came out in August, because we got a lot of number ones, a lot of new things. But I don't know yet. All I can promise you is when September hits, we are going to be moving full steam ahead. Whether it be a couple of books, a review at least, we want to try to get back to doing what we love, and that is this. So I'm going to keep this brief. This is going to be it for this episode. This is the last 0.5. We are going into episode 1 next time, and we're going to be talking about comics. We're going to be talking about comic news. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff in the next episode, and maybe even Michael will be here, and we'll talk about it together. But for now, I'm Chris, your Dark Avenger, and I will see all of you really soon in the next video.